Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Community Unitarian Universalist Church here in Plano, Texas. My name is Reverend Dr. Aija Duelm. I am the minister of this congregation. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I am so glad to see you here, to welcome you here in person, to welcome you here joining us online. Every Sunday we have about 10 people joining us on Sunday mornings, sometimes more, but it's kind of hard for me to guess up front how many are today here with us. But we always have someone joining us at the same time here. We are glad that you could make it today to be here on this day and use this opportunity to be together in community. This Unitarian Universalist congregation is a place where we come to learn more about being human, what it means to be human. And we're here not because we have figured out life's big questions, but because we're still working on them. We haven't gotten them right at some times either. We come to learn about what it is to be human, how to be in relationship with one another, how to listen, how to forgive, how to be vulnerable, how to create trust and compassion in one another, and how to also receive and welcome care from others. The holiday season is upon us, that you can see in our wonderful screen. Slides. Jen Mason does the slides, and she's just marvelous in her artistry, what she does. When I saw the snowman, I thought, I should have changed everything and worked on a snowman imagery for my whole service. But we didn't talk in time about that. So next time, there will be another opportunity where I might use the snowman as imagery for our services. But the fact the holidays are here means that some of us are starting to stress out. Yes, right? We're worried, we're anxious about what we're about to experience. The family stresses. Some of us have quite complicated family dynamics. So we will be worrying about being together with in that family dynamic with others. Maybe we'll be stressing out over expectations on gifts. Maybe we'll be feeling the grief of loss, of not having someone with us this holiday. We're feeling that sense of loneliness because we might be carrying that loneliness inside of us, and the holidays are bringing it out for us. And it sometimes is even stronger when we are told everybody else is having the most wonderful time of the year. How do we as a community care for one another through this holiday season? How do we hold one another when the happy and the wonderful times are mingled up with the sad, and they're together in one bundle? How do we open ourselves up to allow others to gift us with the gift of care? Those are the things that we will ponder today, and wherever you are on your journey, welcome here. Call to worship comes from words written by Erika, Hewitt. Broken hearts are welcome here. Anxious spirits are welcome here. Minds whirring faster than a racing engine, uncertain what to think, stubborn egos that sometimes trip us up, cementing us to opinions, fragile, shell-shocked souls. Say it with me. They are welcome here. Yours, mine, everyone else's. Not because this community will fix it through easy solutions or the right way forward. As a liberal religious congregation, we have something far more fragile and far more powerful than that. Our need to be together. Our need to reconnect to the life-giving source that moves within and among us. And our need to make one another a little bit braver and wiser before returning to the service of life. The story is right here. Ta-da! So, any guesses what that might be? A toolbox. Here we go. It's a toolbox. What are toolboxes used for?
Fixing things.
To hold to, fixing things.
Creating things.
For creating things. Anything else? Say it louder. Maintaining, yes. Also, for keeping all the tools together so that they would be easier to find whenever you need to maintain or fix or create, right? So, is there a reason why would we want them all together?
So you can find them.
Easier to find, less time to use looking for all of
They
them.
work better together.
And then sometimes they work better together. Exactly. Can you tell more?
They need each other.
They need each other. Because when you go and try to fix some things and you only have one tool, and it may not be the right one, but if you have the box with you, Mike probably knows that. You quickly change it to another tool that works better, right? So,
Otherwise, everything looks like a nail. If
otherwise, everything looks like a nail. Exactly. So I did not bring a hammer, but I did bring a screwdriver. But it's a Phillips one, so sometimes it's not going to do you any good, right? Mm-hmm. Well, if that doesn't do any good, just pull it out. If it hurts, pull it out, right?
Channel locks.
Yeah. And sometimes you just need a saw. This was the smallest I could find that fit in the toolbox at home. So that's why it's here. So when we think about our coping skills, I know you didn't think this is where it's going to go. Our spiritual and emotional tools might also sometimes benefit if they were together in a toolbox. Easy to reach, all in one place, easy to add, easy to take out when we need them. When we're going through a hard time, broken heart, when we're angry, scared, overwhelmed, or grieving, then we can think about which tool we might want, and if the screwdriver is the one, it's right there, right? Can we think of what might be our spiritual or emotional tools that might go in there?
Acceptance.
Friendship,
compassion.
compassion,
Acceptance.
acceptance,
Community.
community. Yes. What else? Empathy. Love. Meditation. Second. Patience. Yeah, sometimes we need it when we are really angry, right? What else?
Humor.
Courage, humor,
Needs.
needs, addressing your needs, allowing others to address your needs. Yes?
Cell phones, so you can call for help.
Cell phones need to go in the box so you can call for help. That is a really good one, right? What else?
In that case, put chocolate in there.
Chocolate, yes, absolutely. Chocolate goes in here. Ice cream too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chocolate and ice cream. Share.
Extra food so we can share. Yes, spare stuff. Yes. What else? A spoon. Yes. We don't want more anxiety about not being able to eat that chocolate or ice cream. What else?
Remembrance.
A dryer.
Peace of mind. A dryer. If you get wet, that's definitely right. I didn't hear.
I said remembrance
Remembrance
of what helped before.
of what helped before. What helped before?
Self-forgiveness.
Forgiveness, forgiving yourself
And others.
and others. Music.
Oh,
Yes.
Honesty.
I can hear.
Honesty.
Honesty
Especially with ourselves.
with yourself. Honesty with yourself.
Fun.
Gratitude.
Fun.
Yes, fun.
Yes.
Yes, trying to find something that is fun and you're not having a good day. Walks. Exercise.
Road trip.
Helping someone else. Yes.
Gratitude.
Gratitude, yes, that was mentioned, yes.
A place to come together.
A place to come together. Yep, being with somebody that you know cares about you and accepts you, even when you may not have the best of the days.
Reaching out.
Reaching out, yes. Anybody likes writing or journaling?
Yes.
Somebody has the notebook right there. Yes.
Being able to ask for new tools. New tools, new ideas.
New ideas, new tools. Yes, ask someone else, what helped you that I could try and see what helps me? Or maybe not, but I could try. Reading, maybe reading something that can take your mind off. Therapist, yes. And therapist might be a good contact, needs to be right here, right? Some kind of ritual,
Rituals, yeah.
right? Hugs.
Sometimes turning off the news.
Turning off the TV with the news, yes, absolutely. Sometimes it helps. There might be a lot more, right? It's not an exhausted list. There could be a lot more, and I know I have them here. I just prayer is in there that I didn't say. Some kind of prayerful moment. So we have a lot of options. The toolbox, I think, is pretty big right now. And as I mentioned, that having all of these tools in one place helps when we are going through hard times, because in the midst of hard times, we may not be thinking much about what could we do, what do we need to do. Knowing that we have these tools together allows us to access them easier. And reaching out, we said, cell phones in there, finding out what others have found as helpful could help us maybe let me try that. If I haven't eaten all day, maybe having a cracker and juice is the thing I need, even though I may not feel like eating that day.
Same with rest, sleep.
Sleep, yes, also sleeping it, yes. So we might be in the moment when it's kind of difficult and we're pulling out these tools, we're pulling out the sleep, the the reaching out to somebody else. And we realize it's not the tool, because what we're trying to accomplish is cutting down a big tree with a small saw like this when we really need a chainsaw to get it down. We may need to learn new tools. And it's easier to learn these tools when we're not in the midst of the most difficult time period. But sometimes that's all we got. We don't have an option. That we have to try and learn something. And when we are in the midst of the hardships, our energy levels are low. And so we may struggle to actually benefit from, while we're learning from new tools, we struggle to benefit from them right away. So we may need to take some time and be patient. Somebody mentioned that we need to have patience in that box, right? And if that's not the tool and you need to have that chainsaw, you keep looking. Keep looking for something else.
We don't give up.
Don't give up. Yes. Maybe there is someone that can just hold us until we get through. Because that's what this community is about. We are here to care for one another, to help one another get through the tough times. And if all we can do is get through those moments and know that somebody's going to hold us for us, that might be giving us enough time to be in a place where we can engage the other tools. Thank you for joining this story and for helping to create so many beautiful ideas. I didn't have cell phone, for example, in my list, so I'm adding it right there.
This next reading is titled Blessing for the Longest Night by Jan Richardson. All throughout these months, as the darkness and shadows have lengthened, this blessing has been gathering itself, making ready, preparing for this night. It has practiced walking in the dark, traveling with its eyes closed, feeling its way by memory, by touch, by the pull of the moon, even as it wanes. So believe me when I tell you, this blessing will reach you, even if you do not have light enough to read it. It will find you, even though you cannot see it coming. You will know the moment of its arriving by your release of the breath you have held so long, a loosening of the clenching in your hands, of the clutch around your heart, a thinning of the darkness that had drawn itself around you. This blessing does not mean to take the night away, but it knows its hidden roads. It knows the resting spots along that path. It knows what it means to travel in the company of a friend. So when this blessing comes, take its hand, get up, set out on the road you cannot see. This is the night when you can trust that any direction you go, you will be walking toward the dawn.
Now you know what I mean by the snowman images, right? But yes, oh crap, it's the holidays. This week is already Thanksgiving, right? Reverend Art Severance once shared a story about a young Unitarian Universalist child who was dining with his parents at a home for the first time, together with his elderly great-uncle, who was very religious and always said thanks before dinner, Thanksgiving dinner. So this time, the 4-year-old was asked to give thanks, to return thanks for the dinner. The family members bowed their heads in expectation and waited. And waited. After a long silence, the young fellow looked up at his mother and asked, "But if I thank God for the broccoli, won't God know that I'm lying?" We are approaching these times simply known as holidays, which many of us dread. We're anticipating an increased amount of stress in our lives over the gifts. Will these be the right ones? Will they arrive in time? Over decorations and cooking. Will I get everything done on time? We also know that there will be stress over the family dynamics of having to be together with people with whom we have complicated relationship, or who hold a very different political position and will be pouring salt on our wounds that we carry these days. Or of simply having to be alone this season, reminded of our grief or our loss of relationship, or of the emptiness that we carry inside. Holidays magnify everything. Every year I hear from people who dread the holiday season, but they not only dread it, they dislike it so much that they have opted not to celebrate it at all. I do not celebrate Christmas, they say, as an act of rebellion to the societal expectations that are placed on this season. Some have resorted to the mantra of simply needing to survive the holidays, and this might be all we can do this year. We're told that we are supposed to have a happy holidays, be merry for Christmas. We're supposed to get into the holiday spirit and have the most wonderful time of the year, and if we are not, are we somehow in the wrong? Or lying like the child was going to lie about the broccoli? Are we missing the point? And I will say that if you feel any of this, you're not alone. A 2023 American Psychological Association survey found that 89% of the United States adults are stressed over the holidays. And about 64% of those who live with mental illness reported that their condition worsened during the holiday season. So if we look around and look at these numbers, 89% are stressed. That means about 7 or 8 here are not stressed. Raise your hand. Or no, don't need to. Don't need to. So we can make it. Don't need to. That will add stress, right? We know from statistics that mental illness explodes. We also know that 29% of households currently are a single-person households. So among adults aged 25 through 54, nearly 4 in 10 are not partnered. So the idealized family models are no longer relevant as they used to be in the past, and ultimately add more stress. This is why it might be important that we have a toolbox ready with different things that might help us, not only to get through this time, but also to find some comfort and peace and some ways, even if small ones, to enjoy this time. Grief.com suggests to have a plan A and plan B for the holidays. Plan A is to celebrate as you usually would, with friends, with family. But if that does not feel right this year, the plan B is what you might need. Maybe go to a movie instead. Maybe stay in your pajamas and eat pizza, the leftover pizza possibly, at home. When you let go of shoulds, should be, expectations, there's a whole world that can open up for us. Lowering our standards and expectations for the holidays can go a long way to help us lower our stress level. So maybe having a plan A and plan B and knowing that you have choices can lighten up this heaviness of obligation and tradition. Maybe this is the season to look into what makes you feel whole, what fills you, what inspires you, what reminds you that you are a human being with gifts and care to offer, and that without you, this world would not be the same. Maybe this season is the season to connect with others. We know that millions and even billions of people go to church, not because of the beliefs that they hold, but because of the need for relationship, for connection with others, for community. A beloved community where one feels connected, one feels at home. A community where our own humanness is recognized and where pain is held with care. A religion that does not acknowledge the presence of hardships and suffering in the world and in everyday life offers us no way to integrate the full human experience and ways to face life and to survive it and thrive in the end. The Buddha's quest was one to understand and overcome suffering. That is the whole central point of the Buddhist story and tradition. The center of Christian story is Christ's suffering and death. Jesus weeps at the grave of Lazarus' grave, and in the garden, Jesus feels anguish over the impending death. And we have text that reminds us that Jesus on the cross cries out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" And when we are approaching Christmas to imagine that Jesus as an infant somehow did not experience sorrow, and that later Jesus as man would not know it, is to miss the point altogether about who Jesus as a person was. The Jewish sacred texts begin with a story about how suffering came into the world. And we're going back to the Garden of Eden and eating from the fruit that opened the knowledge. Among Psalms, nearly half of them, Psalms, the largest genre of the Psalms are Psalms of lament. These Psalms express grief and cries to God in times of very deep distress and despair. And there we have asks for God to intervene, to deliver the psalmist or the whole community from suffering, sorrow, great loss, failures, from enemies as well. As Unitarians, Universalists here, we gather to explore and learn what it means to be human, how to hold our experiences both of joy and of pain and sorrow together. And as we look toward this holiday season, it is important that we create space for lament, space for grief, not to try to rush us out of it, but to say that even in the midst of brokenness, we encounter our humanness with all our vulnerabilities, our hopes, dreams, and longings, and remind ourselves that we are not alone. We are not the only ones going through this experience, and that there is hope. There is a blessing that will reach us. Jan Richardson says, even if you have not light enough to read it, it will find you, even though you cannot see it coming. This blessing that will not take the night away, but will guide us through the hidden roads and resting spots, and lead us to dawn. At its best, holidays like Thanksgiving cause us to acknowledge the suffering, to live in that knowledge that suffering can exist at the same time as celebration, to know that life holds both joy and pain. And if you are someone for whom the holidays are simply joyful, please keep in mind that not everyone feels that same way. Be aware of friends and family who might be struggling. And make time in your schedule for coffee, for lunch, for a grieving friend. We will have many festivities in December. You heard already 2 mentioned, and we will have more. We all are increasing our activities, our busyness. May we squeeze out some time for simply caring for one another, for offering friendship to one another, and be ready to offer our shoulder to lean on. As we go forward, words by Cheryl Block. As we go forward into this frightening, exhilarating, confusing, miraculous world, may we offer our comfort to the afflicted, our love to those who are lonely, and our wish for all to be safe. Amen. Blessed be.